Today we explore a city like no other. A city within a castle, a city of 1,000 windows, a city with a colorful history. Welcome to the city of Berat. We started our journey to the city of 1,000 windows from Berat, Albania. The bus ride was fairly calm and scenic, and it only took us about an hour and a half to get to the city of Berat. Well, we just hopped off the bus and arrived in the city of Berat, and the bus driver was pretty kind and told us when the last bus was, and it's in only like 3 hours, so we're gonna end up having to stay the night here and figure out what to do. At least we don't have to rush it all now. We can just kind of take the city as we please. But we just got to catch a city bus into the center now. Rural life became a lot more obvious while we were waiting for the bus. Fortunately, it was only a short bus ride into town. We got dropped off right in the center. Just stopped off here, and already behind me you can see all the town. We're gonna come back to explore. We just booked an Airbnb and we got to check in still. So we're just gonna head over there now and check in, but wow, like this is quite the city. We made our way through town to check into our Airbnb. For only $40 Canadian a night, it was quite impressive. Well, we're all checked in. The Airbnb host was super friendly, offered to cook us breakfast, but we kind of declined, and she seemed a little disappointed, but we're not really too sure what we're doing tomorrow, and it's kind of disappointing because that would have been a good home-cooked meal, but now we're gonna go out and hit the town and see what it's like out there. I've been to a lot of small towns, but this one has got to be one of the coolest. City of 1,000 windows, or Berat actually means the white city, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. We're probably gonna eventually hike up to the castle, maybe tomorrow morning, I'm thinking. So we'll see the view from up top. That'll probably be the end of the video. So stick around for that, that's for sure. But wow, this is a cool city. So right now, I'm just walking across the new bridge. We're gonna circle around and eventually cross over the old bridge. The old bridge is only about 200 years old, but I'll give you some more history about that soon. So this side of the river is the Christian side. You know, the funny thing is that for a long time there was, the Christian side and there's the Muslim side. The only reason that there's any sort of differentiation between the two sides is just simply about who conquered this area. And at what point, okay, we built the first part, it was mostly inhabited by Christians, then they built the second part, and that's when it was, more conquered by, Islamic communities and that as well. So, it just was divided naturally, but it was not out of any sort of necessity or any kind of tension or anything of the sort, as you would see in a lot of other parts of the world. At one point or another, they connected the two sides with a wooden bridge, which is now a stone bridge, which was built in I think 1920, if I recall correctly. This is wild. It's the middle of the day and I have the whole old bridge to myself right now. I'm just... just in awe of the views. It's a quiet little peaceful town. I've seen a handful of other tourists, but really not many. And this whole entire city is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, which means it's protected, and it also gets a lot of funding from the United Nations. A lot of the houses and, buildings here are up to 300 years old. And of course, that's not something you want to lose, right? So UNESCO has been pouring tons of money into it. So we're just heading into the new town now. Kind of the more modern part, I guess you could say. And, there's a couple little things I want to see. There's some, communist monuments and things like that I really want to see, which I always have so much fascination with. I got to see a little bit in Tirana, but generally speaking, got robbed with all the construction. So what I thought was an old Soviet monument turned out to actually be a cemetery. I felt a little uncomfortable being a tourist in a cemetery, so I only took a quick look around before heading out. So yeah, we just passed by the cemetery and I was, so confused because you know, there was like a lot of red stars, and it was obviously a World War II era cemetery, which was, you know, to me a little bit confusing because I didn't think, you know, the Soviet Union had any involvement in Albania at that time, but maybe it was part of Albania, because I know Albania had the golden star on its flag during the communist era, so maybe it was like communist Albanians at the time. I'm really not too sure. I'm going to try to do some more research, and if I can clarify it, I will, but it's really interesting. I kind of thought I was walking and seeing something Soviet, which was interesting to me, but apparently not.
We walked around for a little while longer while making our way back towards our Airbnb because the sky started to look a little ominous. On our way, we heard a girl speaking English in a pub and decided to wait out the rain in the pub.
So we're just heading out to go get some dinner now. It's only about 5:30. We just actually spent most of the afternoon hanging out with like a fellow traveler and whatnot that we ended up meeting at a local pub. And, you know, we kind of just didn't even really plan on popping in, but we heard somebody speaking English and we're kind of like, we might be able to make some friends. So that's what we ended up doing. We ended up hanging out and chatting with this girl who's traveling just like us. And, you know, we spent most of the afternoon doing that, but now we are absolutely starving. So we're going to go look around for a good place to eat. Hopefully find something, you know, kind of traditional. And
on our way to dinner, we saw the sun kissing the houses across the river, so we rushed over for an amazing view. The view was so amazing that I think I took more photos in this moment than I have on my entire trip. For dinner, I had some veal chops and vegetables, but the real star of the show was the amazing view with dinner. We grabbed ourselves some dessert at a different spot before making our way home for the night and resting up for our adventure the next day.
Well, good morning, guys, and I'm so glad that it's morning because we just got breakfast delivered, and I'm over the moon that I actually turned around and Jessica convinced me to have breakfast this morning because, man, is it quite the breakfast. Look at that. An omelet with sausage, orange juice, and it looks like some sort of yogurt, bread and butter. I don't even know what this is. Is that jam? Oh, it looks like fresh jam. Imagine your mother cooking for you, basically. That's what it tastes like.
well, we finished our breakfast and now it's time to head up to the castle. Hopefully the walk isn't too bad. We gave ourselves some time to let our food digest because we didn't want to be walking up there on such a full stomach after such a massive breakfast, but really excited for the short little hike and the view from the top. Jessica's struggling there behind me. You okay? The tortoise wins the race. That's what tortoises tell themselves. Looks like we're pretty much at the top. This is really cool. Like, it's an entire town surrounded by a castle.
Yeah.
This is cool.
I didn't know it was like this.
Jessica's thinking it's...
Walked a little quicker.
Yeah, Jessica's typically struggling, but she's got some motivation in her step now. Oh, it's a freaking warm day. I'm back in the t-shirt now. I took everything off. It was just way too much for me.
These are so cute.
Jessica's stopping a shop yet again.
I never buy anything.
No, she never buys anything. I only laugh at her shopping because it's not actually shopping. It's so crazy how big this is with a giant wall surrounding it. Like, there's people living up here, there's hotels here, have restaurants, shops. I kind of thought it would just be a bit of a tourist attraction in all honesty, but like, it's an actual village. Like, of course there's tons of tourism, you know, it's a cool place, but like, it's not just basically turned into a museum. Like, there's cars on the street. Like, it's a whole village. Like, it's an actual place you can live. I'm sure nobody here sells their house because, I mean,
it's probably another gold mine, and who the hell would want to live anywhere else when you have a view as good as it is here? Like, we're just walking around the outside of it here, and you can see all the terraces and, you know, like the olive gardens, and oh, it's just stunningly beautiful. Well guys, that's it for today. Had a great time here in Berat. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider giving me a like, subscribing if you haven't been here before. But until next time, we'll see ya.